Alright, how's it hanging, gamers? Welcome back to another one. I wanted to do just a bit of an update video today, kind of talk about how things are going, just general stuff, a little bit of a chat between you and I, talk about the channel, the big 2024, and also just celebrate the fact that over the past year, it is the first year in a long time, I believe, 2018, that I have managed to remain consistent here on the channel without taking any of my infamous 4 to 6 to 8 month hiatuses of disappearing into the realm of darkness, or digital world as we call it. It's something I've been striving for, to just remain consistent for a year. I came back to content creation after my last hiatus, which was in November of 2023, and since then, it's just been like all cylinders firing. 2024 is honestly, even with the launch of Kingdom Hearts 3 and the years leading up to that, 2024 is the hardest I've worked. Perhaps I've been putting in like maybe too many hours, but in order to remain as consistent as I am, on top of the quality that also goes into my stuff, I absolutely just buckled my ass down. I strapped it down to my computer chair and I worked my ass off. And it absolutely did pay off. A hard year, full of challenges, for sure, because of course, the big focus of 2024 was to branch out and to really commit to it. It's something I've been yapping about for years, man, like years. Basically, I've been doing Kingdom Hearts content creation for a decade now. 2024 marked 10 years since I started doing Kingdom Hearts content creation. It's been since 2015 that I've been doing it full time, but that's a long ass time to be talking about a single-player video game franchise that is not the main priority of the creators. That is Final Fantasy, and I look at Final Fantasy content creators and I'm like, man, you guys have it good. Are you aware that you've got like more than 100 games you could create content for? It must be pretty sweet living to be a Final Fantasy content creator, dude, genuinely. But it's really hard because this franchise, especially nowadays, barely gets substantial updates. Like, Kingdom Hearts comes out incredibly slow, which is weird because the series has never been as popular, but this is a direct result of how video games just take so long to develop and what goes into them nowadays. So it's understandable, but it still doesn't take away from the fact that in order to be a consistent, almost daily, full-time content creator, talking about a franchise like this, as much as I love it, is fucking hard. So this is why I've been talking about branching out for a long time. If I want to be able to sustain what I'm doing here for the foreseeable future, then there's absolutely no way that the channel's main priority can be Kingdom Hearts if there is literally nothing to talk about. And so 2024, I decided, let's do it. Let's do different stuff and truly commit to it. The thing about me is, in the past, when I have attempted to do different content, I will then pay attention to the viewership and to see how those videos are performing. If I see that something that I have worked on for hours on end, days, or perhaps even weeks for some of the bigger projects, if I see that those videos are not performing because YouTube, you have all of your analytics and graphs and numbers right in front of you, right? And this is kind of a double-edged sword because it's good to have this. It gives you indicators as to what's working and what's not working. You kind of can't really be a content creator without that tool there. It's incredibly helpful. But it's also a negative because imagine if every single day you went to work, you had this sheet of how you're performing. And we're not talking about like monthly performance stats or anything like that. We're talking like daily or even live stats with how crazy analytics is nowadays. You can literally see how your shit's performing in real time. But when you start seeing like numbers going down, graphs going down, things in the red, dude, I can tell you, and especially, like I said, after being working on stuff for like multiple days or hours, it is so demotivating. I cannot even describe how demotivating it is. It is just incredibly demotivating. And so I've always then just jumped straight back into Kingdom Hearts because I also have to make a full-time living. This is my full-time job. So I've got bills to pay, I've got a life to live, I need to make money. That's just like the nature of day in, day out life, right? So what I said to myself was, do not pay attention to any of the analytics, any of the numbers. My current method at the moment is I literally go days without like even looking at how my videos are performing, how my videos are doing. I just really don't want to know. And again, this is a good and bad thing. It's bad because I could be uploading stuff and it's not performing. Example, right? The Marvel Rivals stuff that I've been doing recently, some of it's been okay, especially the first mod video I got out. That was my best performing video of 2024. Crazy, but again, I think that's more so like the YouTube algorithm just kind of giving me a hand. That doesn't happen too often. I'm not really too fortunate with that, but it happened and I'm very grateful. But I didn't look at any of the Marvel Rivals content for days, and then I decided to yesterday, and I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, and so unfortunately right now I'm going through like a little bit of demotivation, but just to like kind of provide you guys with an example. Basically, I try not to look at the stats because honestly, it does get me down, especially if it is something I've been working on for a long ass time. But I did a lot of that throughout 2024, and I think for the most part, it has worked out. There's a lot of stuff, including the Platinum videos that I did that take a long time to create. They performed really well. Some stuff, not so much, but a lot of stuff that is just outside of Kingdom Hearts ended up doing really good. And as a result, it's the first time in a while that the channel has seen some pretty decent growth. A direct result of doing other things, though, has improved my mental health significantly. Now, I do have to let you know, though, that, like, the YouTube and everything that goes on in the content creation space for me isn't the sole reason as to why I started to get really depressed and take long breaks. There are other reasons behind that, bigger reasons than just the content creation thing. But I will say it's absolutely a contributing factor. So it has helped me tremendously throughout 2024 to remain consistent with doing other things to provide this breath of fresh air. As much as I love Kingdom Hearts, it's really hard to have a full-time job surrounding talking about it when there's nothing to talk about. The Patreon that I launched last year has been an absolute godsend. This has enabled me to be able to do different content. It at least makes up a smallish portion of my income, which helps. It gives me a bit of security, a bit of a safety net. So to everyone that subscribed to the Patreon and who is currently still subscribed and supporting the channel, you have no idea how much you are helping me out right now. Like, it is an absolute godsend. It's the single best thing I think I've done for my entire content creation career, so thank you so much for that. Another thing that I've been doing a lot that has just assisted so much with my mental health is limiting my time on social media. This has been huge, and I know it's that whole cliche, almost like cringe thing of, oh, stop using social media, you kids need to disconnect. I mean, at least that was like my perception of people who would say that prior to actually trying it out. But I tried out this crazy life hack in 2024, and lo and behold, I instantly, at the very bare minimum, feel 2.0 times better about myself through just limiting my time using a social media. It is insane dealing with all of the cesspool of bullshit that gets funneled through Twitter, especially nowadays. It is like with the engagement farming and like the opinions and the fact that people can make money off posts on Twitter. It's the worst thing to happen to the site ever, period, hands down. People are just saying shit for the sake of being paid 2 cents, because you also don't get paid fuck all when it comes to Twitter for like the amount of engagement and stuff you get. But still, yeah, I pretty much just go onto the site. I need to use it from time to time a little bit just in order to keep in the loop with things, but I mainly just use it to make a post, and then I will jump off. I'll then like jump back on maybe a few hours later, reply to some comments, and then just jump straight back off. And this has done wonders. I recommend this to literally anyone. I am still seeing my mutuals who, honestly speaking, it's like they're no longer even living in their house. They are living on Twitter. That is their roof. Elon Musk's social media ring is literally their fucking roof. Please try this out if you are someone that, like, perhaps struggles with mental health or something. It might be that you're just too connected. You're trying to keep in the loop with what Sandy's eaten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Who gives a fuck? Log off. Right now, the channel is still very much in an experimental phase. As you guys have seen, and as I was talking about Marvel Rivals, I've been loving that game so much. It's a fresh, new game that a lot of people are paying attention to. Hence why that first video kind of popped off. And so I decided, okay, this is a opportunity that's sort of presenting itself. I'm experimenting with possibly having Marvel Rivals as a focus. With how some of the recent videos have been performing, though, I am kind of seeing it as like, okay, this is not really worth the time investment if the viewership is going to be so low. And, like, that's content creation 101. It's all about the time investment. If you are not getting back what you're putting in, it's very hard to stay consistent and remain with what you're doing. At least for me, this is something that I really struggle with. It's basically like going to work and finding out that for your past week's worth of work, your boss has decided to only pay you 1/8 of what you are supposed to be paid. Content creation is a very different thing, and that is just simply the nature of content creation. You absolutely do have to take risks, and you're probably going to face more L's than wins. So I guess the biggest aspect of character building that I've been working on for myself over the past year is how I can deal with demotivation and how I can kind of get out of those funks whenever I hit them, because I definitely still do hit those like waves or those slumps of like, it's not working. I cannot be fucked right now. I am frustrated. I'm stressed. I don't want to be doing this. I definitely still get into those waves, man, and I think I always will, but it's like a matter of how you deal with it, and I think I've got a pretty good system down on pat. A focus for 2025, though, that I sort of want to hone in on is streaming. I think that some of my best content has come out of doing our streams over the years, and so I've never really given it too much of a priority, and that is something that I definitely do want to try out. It's hard, though, because I love video content creation. Like, that is absolutely my niche. I love talking and editing and doing all of that kind of thing. So it's kind of difficult. It is a difficult thing to also balance streaming and video content creation, hence why I did basically no streaming in 2024, because I pretty much just wanted to prioritize YouTube and to see how that would work out. While it did do good, and I am happy about some of the results of 2024, I am willing to try out Twitch streaming for a little bit and to basically make that a priority. I do plan on returning to streaming sometime soon. Right now, I'm just waiting on a PC part that has been stuck in customs for like almost a month now, so hopefully that comes out soon and I can build my new computer that's going to help out with streaming and all of that jazz. I just want to say though, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It really does mean a lot. I love what I do here. It is my absolute passion, and as I've said, you know, I want to be able to do this for as long as I can, so I'm just right now in this experimental phase of trying out all kinds of different things and seeing what works, seeing what doesn't, seeing what people like and what people don't like. It's it can be a little bit difficult, of course, you know, with the whole demotivation thing. As we've talked about with Kingdom Hearts, I think this will be a pretty good year for it, and I'll always stand by the fact that I will cover Kingdom Hearts when there is stuff to talk about. There is things that I do have planned in the pipeline for KH in regards to content, stuff I've been meaning to do for an incredibly long time that I want to get around to doing. I've also got big stream plans for Kingdom Hearts. Like, I got a lot of ideas when it comes to Kingdom Hearts, of course. It's just I also need to make sure that branching out and doing stuff outside of the realm of KH is also a thing that's actively happening on the channel. But either way, I think 2025 will provide us with some good stuff. The next 2 years should be good for KH. I've heard a lot of things from about 2 different sources. There is stuff happening. There is stuff to be excited about. I'm just pretty much going to leave it at that. Reminder, February showcase. Then again, I've also heard no Kingdom Hearts at that showcase, but still Square Enix stuff nonetheless. Kind of exciting. So Yeah, thank you guys, though, as always. I really do appreciate everything that you've enabled me to be able to do here on the sphere of the interwebs. It means a damn lot. I hope you're all having a fantastic day, and we'll talk again real soon.